lessons off the streets. Rainfall washes away the memories in binary. Salvation bathes us in its glow. We look up to the sky and dream of Neo Tokyo. Take flight, dreams begin to reignite. So clear, so bright, we're glowing in the dead of night. Plug in, online, data stream making our minds. Circuits, things right, we dream of Neo Tokyo tonight.
Yo, what's up, clown? Have I seen you on any previous streams? Are you new? Ah, you're a lurker. Okay, cool. Well, I welcome the lurkers. I get excited when somebody who's a lurker starts talking for the first time. Right now, we got 6 other people aside from you in the beginning of the stream who are clearly lurkers, and I welcome them. Hey, what's up, Edgar? Hello, lurkers. Jacobo, what's up, man? Do I make comics full time? Yes. The answer is yes. This is my job, or yob if you want to pronounce it with a silent J, if you're classy. Yeah, no, I do a lot of comics for clients, and many of them are like stuff for advertising. It's like storyboard comics for this company called Storyboard Graphic Novels. But I'm slowly getting to a place where I'm just doing my own stuff, like that I write and I draw full time. Case in point is Black Marrow, which is the comic that I just did earlier this year. It was actually at the end of 2024 that I published it, and had a really fun time watching that popularity grow and watching the book actually sell. Yeah, I do comics full time. I don't do my own comics full time yet, but I'm getting there almost. The goal right now is to, with this YouTube channel, hopefully to get this monetized so I can turn streaming into a revenue stream. Oh, whoops, sorry, I hit the camera. I can turn streaming into like a source of revenue, and then I can do a thing where, you know, I draw comics and you guys hang out with me, and that actually turns into money so that I can do this as a full-time gig and not have to take as many clients. But the other thing is that I'm also going to be starting a Patreon, hopefully in the coming weeks. I'm just putting together the advertising for it, and we're trying to put together like a really fun announcement to launch the Patreon, so that anybody who's been a fan of my work since they, you know, read Black Marrow or anything like that, they can hang out and watch the second book get made, and, you know, support the artist, but also like get previews of the comic. They can get high resolution free digital downloads of it before it's even sold in print. You know, things like that. That's what I'm moving toward right now. That's the goal anyway. How did you get clients or publishers interested in your work? I struggled for a long time, and I just started sending my portfolio out and getting my first rejections back in my 20s. But I kind of lucked out, because the company that I do my art for, that's like my main source of income, the guy who, like one of the owners of that, of Storyboard Graphic Novels, he actually reached out to me, which is rare. I almost didn't trust it at first, because I wasn't used to that happening. When you're an artist, you got to be careful, because people are trying to scam you or whatever. But he reached out and he was like, "Hey, I really like your art." He saw my portfolio online somewhere. It might have been DeviantArt or ArtStation, one of those things. I had published a small indie comic series that had done pretty well, and it got a little bit of attention. It was just something I wrote and drew myself, and he was like, "Hey, if you're looking for work, I got a lot of it for you." And I was like, "Okay." And we've been working together for like over a decade. 12 years, I think I've known him. And they've never steered me wrong. They're a good company. They pay on time. They're nice to work with. And they interact with the client, so I don't need to, which is great. Because I don't mind. I mean, a lot of clients are nice, but it's really good to have someone who functions as a middleman between you and the client, so that I don't have to, you know, take phone calls from them. And because sometimes when you're working on comics, it's like any other thing. When you're a creative, you know, the person, they're paying you, so they think they just get to have all of your time, and they'll call you at all hours. I've had projects like that where I was working on a comic that was, you know, for this movie that was being proposed, this like film proposal, this movie pitch, and they were, you know, had me do a graphic novel as a pitch. And it was before I started working with Storyboard Graphic Novels, and I had this client who was like, you know, these are guys used to working in film, like film producers, calling me at odd hours, they're just used to having the poor people at their disposal all the time, and it was driving me nuts. Because I would be like, yo, like, you're not paying me enough to interrupt dinner with my girlfriend, bro. Like, that's not on a Saturday evening. What's up, Monty? Peak! I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. Yeah, the guy would call me like 8:30 on a Saturday night and just be like, yo, I got some ideas for this. You want to hear these ideas I got to change the script? And I was just like, not really. Like, this is not... Like, where is it in my contract you get to do that? But now, because I work with this wonderful company, they get those calls from the client, and they get a percentage of the money because of that. But that's fine, because as a freelancer, your money is your time. Your time is your money. They are the same thing. So not taking those phone calls is both emotionally and financially worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Because I can't even tell you how many times before I had an agent, because essentially these guys, they function as my agent now. They're like my editors and my agent. They get me the jobs. I don't have to do anything, you know. And before I had them, it was like you would get a client sometimes who would be so annoying that they would just like take up all your time, like I was saying, and then you're so exhausted from having to talk to them that you're not really doing other work because they're taking up all of your time while supplying you with a fraction of the necessary income you need to survive. So it's like you're just making me go broke by like being a person with no... But then you're like, well, I can't lose this gig because now they're my only gig, so I have to really pucker up, kiss their butt. And that was it's just bad for your soul, man. Can't recommend it. So having said that, there's also been lovely clients that are wonderful people, you know. Ah, I see. Thank you, Edgar. I do need people to explain these modern terms to me. I mean, I knew peak meant like good. I didn't know if he was speaking to me or someone else, but I appreciate it. I don't like these lines here. I gotta clean these up. Did the movie get made, or do you know? Well, the movie got very close to filming, and then they had a delay because one of the lead actors couldn't do it anymore. And it's, even though he had a contract, so they had to recast him, and then it got shelved. And I can't say which movie it is, but it's been in production hell for like 12 years now. And I made some money off of the, the production, and as I was literally, it was a really small film company, the one I'm thinking of, and it was like, for this particular book, I was the only concept artist working on the story, and it was a special effects film. It was like a creature feature, and I was the only guy there who drew. Everyone else was graphic design in this small film studio in the city in New York. So everyone else is doing like logo design, cool shit, and I'm the only one who can like design the monster. Everyone else, they can photo bash some things together, but like they're not draftsmen. So I'm sitting there, and this is before I went digital. This is like 12 years ago. It's before I went digital, so I'm just sitting there with a stack of paper and like markers and a Micron pen, just digging into the drawings and trying to get this creature right. And we're doing 100 drafts of this thing because they were trying to come up with an original concept for a vampire that didn't look like something that had already existed. And I tend to favor very classical ideas of that stuff. Yes, I am old. It's true, I'm old. At 38, I am objectively the oldest person alive. But I tend to favor like very classical ideas of things. Like I like the look of Nosferatu and those old monster movies. But they wanted to do this whole other sci-fi bend where like the vampires are a virus, an entity that moves from person to person. So it's not like different people become vampires. It's like a thing that infects a body and then jumps to another host. Which I thought wasn't that interesting personally as a concept, because I think the whole point of vampires as villains is that they're like, it's a person. I don't know. It just wasn't something that I worked with it as best as I could, and I ended up getting into a design that they liked. And the studio, this big studio that was producing it, that was giving us money, they liked it, and they said that they greenlit it based on the creature design. I should have seen a kickback off that, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not bitter about it. It was many years ago. Something that was great that came out of that is that I got to do stuff for Dungeons and Dragons through that studio. That's something that's nice from working there. I ended up getting work. They were doing a video ad for Dungeons and Dragons, for the Dungeons and Dragons slot machine in Vegas. So I got to do work for Konami, and I got to storyboard a D&D project. I was uncredited though, sadly. Hey, what's up, Apollo? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream, and thank you. I don't know, man. I hope you guys aren't tired of synthwave because it's been it's been awesome. I've been listening to so much of it lately. I don't know. I can't get enough of it. I'm really enjoying it. It's like this whole comic is coming together from listening to synthwave, like, and similar music. I heard someone say that synthwave is actually like the fastest growing genre of music right now. Like it's becoming so popular. And my YouTube feed definitely supports that. It feels like there's just a lot of people listening to it based on how much of it's getting produced all the time. What's Gachiakuda? I don't know my manga too much. I want to know more about manga. I've read, I've enjoyed some manga, but it feels like a lot of it is stuff that I would pick based purely on the quality of the art. And, there's probably some that aren't necessarily the type of art that I would normally go for, but the book itself overall is really good, and I feel like I'm missing out on stuff like that because I, literally judge books by their covers. Feel free to nerd out about Gachiakuda in the chat. Enjoy that. Also, hello Panoma, I remember you. reading your synopsis of... Okay, I'm going to read out loud for everybody. In a world where the items you hold most dear can turn into your own powerful weapon, a rebellious boy gets framed for murder and kicked out of his floating city and into the place called Abyss. The Abyss is a land filled with trash and monsters, and he'll soon find out that other people live there too. His main goal is revenge while he makes new friends and possibly enemies. Please don't judge it off the cover because the actual interior art is way better. The art is super energetic and detailed, unlike no other manga out right now, and it's quickly gaining popularity. That's really cool. That's a cool plot. That's really interesting. God, I love how Japan just goes for it with their ideas. It's awesome. But it's funny when that happens, when you see a comic and it's like the interior art is actually better than the cover, which is like, it's odd. I mean, I prefer that to the other way around, where you see a lot of American comics where they have these gorgeous cover pieces and then the interior art is like, ugh, it's like very amateur looking. I have found that very frustrating over the years. So excited to use my watercolor brushes on this. Oh my god. Guys, doesn't this music just make you want to get into a high-speed chase in futuristic Tokyo? It's so awesome. And it's funny you guys are talking about manga because, like, when I listen to synthwave stuff, I think there's this thing happening culturally. I guess because of 90s anime being so popular, like specifically 80s and 90s OVAs, like original video anime, for those of you who don't know what a cassette is, that, like, synthwave always makes me think about, like, really cool old anime that I grew up watching and, like, want to see again, and makes me want to find it online. Like, I recently found out that Techno Man, an anime from the late 80s, early 90s, I think, is totally on YouTube for free, like the full thing. And it's a show that I had forgotten about that I used to watch when I was a kid. And oh man, it is very different upon second viewing. The writing is abysmal, but the art style is awesome. And I can't blame Japan for the writing because I don't know how much of the bad dialogue, like the cringe-inducing dialogue, might be from localization from American writers back in the 90s who were trying to take a Japanese story and make it fit into what was, you know, the American cartoon scene, you know. But yeah, it's, the writing is, I mean, I didn't expect, like, you know, incredible writing. It's like a, you know, a cartoon for kids, like from 30 years ago. but but I mostly wanted to see it for the art because I remember loving the art style, and it was just awesome to see that. Edgar says, I just bought the first volume at Barnes & Noble the other day. Also, that was my first time going to Barnes & Noble. Religious experience. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Barnes & Noble's fun. I have some books sold on barnesandnoble.com if anybody's interested. I love these brushes. I just can't get enough of them. I mean, I already have this character design down for Watchdog. It's like it's already down, but I just need to see what he looks like when I draw him this way. And I have other things I could be doing. I have other work that I have to do for clients. Dan, those of you who know Dan Warren, I'm sending him concept art for my King Arthur comic because Dan is doing a cover for it, and he's been sending me his mock-ups for the cover layout, and he's like, he needs the character designs. He has enough to work with right now, but I want to send him some more, and it just looks awesome. I can't wait to oh my god, it looks so good. It's so cool to see him working on, when you're a comic book guy and you get a painter to do a painting based on like any artist you like to just do art based on your work, it's like it's a great feeling. It's really cool. I highly recommend it. Everybody should work toward that. And Dan is such a cool guy, so it's been cool to talk to him about it and to see his interpretation of like my designs for those characters for the armor and stuff. It's been cool to see that because we share a love of medieval history and fantasy and stuff. So like when the armor designs I've shown him for the knights, Dan he's just understood the assignment. Like he knew what to do with it. He knew how to present it in his way and how to make it fit. And it looks good. Gachiokuda powers are based on the Tsukomogami folklore in which normal items can gain souls after 100 years. That's incredibly badass. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting, says Edgar. Yes, Technoman is basically a part of that Gundam generation where everyone's doing giant robots and stuff. But Gundam, when I was a kid, it just didn't make its way. It didn't make its way to my eye holes. It just for some reason it wasn't in the States yet, or maybe it was, but like because Technoman was something that was just on network TV, like I could find it on the Sci-Fi Channel on Friday mornings or something, Saturday mornings. It just happened to get stuck in my brain, But I recognize that it's probably greatly, heavily, comically inspired by Gundam. I'm sure that you'll agree. You know what? You're right. I was a loser. I didn't have Gundam, but you know what we did have Ninja Scroll, and that shit is hardcore. We had Ninja Scroll in the '90s, and if you ever seen Ninja Scroll, oh my god, shocking, shocking content. It's a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Watch Ninja Scroll. Don't let your mom see it. So much nakedness. So much heads being exploded. The cloud says, yeah, so many dudes burning in gold. It's true. It's true. Do you remember the clown? Do you remember? I'm going to call you clown, not the clown. Do you remember watching Ninja Scroll when he kills the villain? I forgot the name of the bad guy. It's Gemma. That's his name. Gemma is the immortal. And when the titular ninja kills him, he goes, "Burn in your golden hell, Gemma!" As he sends him down to the ocean to be encased in gold for eternity, in liquid gold. I mean, I know people talk about Shakespeare, but that ending, it'll blow your belly button out the back of your ass. That's how cool it is. But, you know, for medical reasons, you may not want that. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Ryan, do you have to backlight everything? Is it a law that you're following, or is it a contract you have with God that you have to backlit every character? The answer is yes. I'm actually 200 years old, and if I don't backlight my characters with some stark light, I perish like Dorian Gray. My portrait ages. So if you want me to keep doing these streams and not die, not melt on camera like that dude from Indiana Jones who drinks from the wrong grail, you're gonna have to let me backlight things. Hold on. I don't know, something about the way it's falling that arm. I gave you nightmares, clown? Yeah. It's also, when you're a kid, seeing some of those scenes. I don't want to get my stuff stricken by YouTube if you just mention the S word. But seeing some of those stuff as a kid before you yourself are active in that way, it's like you're like, I really hope this is not what that's like, because it's a very dark, fetishistic view of consent. Ryan just guitar 2025? I don't get it. Hey, what's up, American Discord? How are you doing, man? He says, pretty cool designs and colors. Thank you. This is one of Kyle's brushes, his brush sets. I actually, you know what, American Discord? I actually don't know, but I'm going to show you the brush set. It's these guys. AF watercolor. Right here. You can pause it and look back. I don't know, is he the one who made these, Kyle? I'm going to tell you guys, I mean, I've said it a few times in this stream, it is probably I'm almost certain there's nobody who's made watercolor brush sets that are this good. They're so good. I love them so much. I want to do everything with them from now on. I want to do whole comics like this because it's just, they're so fun to work with. Because I've always loved that French comic watercolor look. But you can clarify that for me, and let me know if this is Kyle. Because I've seen his ads, and I bought his brushes before. I just don't remember if this is one of the brush sets that I bought from him. Because Procreate, their default watercolor brushes are actually pretty good, but these are just perfection. They're just so... I can't believe how good they are. Like, if you're someone like me who like loves watercolor and like that's the thing that you're most comfortable with when you're not doing digital, it's just I can't say enough good things about it. And I want to give credit to the person who made it. I just don't remember because I bought them a long time ago and I only started using them recently because I had a gig that I was working on that required me to be more consistent with a different style. But now that I'm I'm vibing on this music, man. I was driving home to this, like I was driving home from the gym and just like feeling like I was half robot. No, yeah, it's cool. It's fun to draw too. It keeps my tempo up. Like I feel like I'm moving. I mean, I usually draw pretty fast, but this is like it's creating a fun sense of urgency in the work. I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys are here from when I had Steven Zapata on. Like, I know I have a few new people, more than a few new people who've come because of that talk. And I'm wondering how many of you who watched it remember, I'm sure a fair amount, remember what he said about color. And that he said, color is used best when it's emotional, which I thought was really interesting. And it's been on my mind. Like, Steven said that to me. And he solidified an idea that was already kind of there, but he made it more, he made it concrete. This notion that for an artist who, you know, if you're trying to do photorealism, that's one thing, but if you're just trying to create something exciting, visually exciting, and compelling, and you know, that color is really, it's about emotion. So the color doesn't have to have perfect realism. It has to have like I don't know how he would word it. I would say like emotional verisimilitude, where it makes you feel a mood, a feeling, and it doesn't have to be exact to reality. And I've been thinking of that because when I'm doing colors like this, I'm just thinking about what would be exciting, like, you know. And I'm doing this. It's like an emotional thing. I'm just trying to see like what emotions I'm trying to hit. You know, like what kind of lighting for this guy would be. Whoa. Keep that in store for later. And I just think Steven, he touched upon something that's like very, very true when he said that, and it was like very wise. And I want to email him. We've been, you know, we were emailing back and forth before the thing, and he was a really interesting guy. I want to send him another email and let him know that what he said, because I didn't acknowledge it when he said it. I was like, and I didn't really dig into it, but afterwards, like now, it's just on my mind. I'm like, Dad, he's right. I like when my colors are the most successful in the illustrative sense, it's because I'm really just thinking about the emotion of it. I'm thinking about, like, you know, I'm not trying to make something that's perfectly representative of any kind of existing reality. You know, like, look at this right now. The blues and the highlights, you know. Jacobo says, backlights are awesome. You don't need to justify it. I appreciate that. I just do it a lot because even on this piece, I just added a rim light. Look at how much it makes things pop. It's a really easy way and a fun way to like make something work. Especially when you have a character like this who's that sinewy and like muscular, you get to like define all these parts of the body to just look like he looks like a big old panther. You don't need to justify it. Every time I hear the name Kyle, I immediately think of Monster Energy and hummus. Fascinating. Clearly you're on the right track. Going to the gym is great. Yeah, it is. I go to the gym, I want to say four or five times a week, and then I run out. I do like long runs outside when I can. Although it's been cold as hell out here. But I love to run. I try to box like 3 or 4 times a week and hit the weights, and I do a lot of calisthenics actually, more so than weights these days. It just feels really good doing pull-ups and push-ups and that boxing routine that I used to do. But yeah, I don't usually go at this time. I usually go early in the morning. That's why it's rare you hear me talk about it, because it's usually by the time I stream, it's hours after I went to the gym. I don't even think about it. It feels like it was on a different day because I'm doing it at like 6:30 in the morning or 7. Closer to 8 actually. It's after I drop my woman off at work. My woman. But American Discord, are you still there? Did you see my response to your question? I want to know if these are Kyle's brushes. And if you know, I would appreciate if you could let me know if they are or not, because I want to like give him public praise, this Kyle, if these are his brushes. I should get a membership instead of tagging along with my Nana when she goes. Edgar, that's awesome that you go with your grandma. Do you live with your grandma, Edgar? I feel like you, if you don't mind my asking, do you live with her? I feel like she's up. She comes up in your stories a lot to the point where I wonder if you're with your Nana full time. If so, I think that's really sweet, and I think that's. And even if not, it's even sweeter because it means you're spending time with your grandmother, and that means a lot. That means a lot to grandparents when they get to spend time with, with their grandkids, and when they feel like you want to be there and you want to listen to them and hang out with them. Like, that's really cool. So I think that's very sweet. But yeah, I was just curious. Do you live with your grandma? What do you guys think? I think he looks pretty cool. Let me see, does this need anything added? Jacobo says, I did look at Afro Samurai at 13. That was my ninja scroll. Is it just as violent? Is that what you're saying? Is it similar? You never gave me a rundown of your lore. Oh. Is that why your family is a Jehovah's Witness? Because of the nature of your birth? Did they become more religious after that? Oh, I'm sorry, it's out of focus. Let me fix that. Wow. You live with your grandma and your Nana. Oh, Nana means aunt, right? I think my internet's skipping again. That happened last night too. But last night when my internet was skipping, it was because there was a huge storm out. So, if you don't mind me asking, is your mom in the picture at all, or is it just full-time Nana and Grandma? Jacobo says, oh, sorry, I missed something from Meeker. There's more to it, but that's the basic story. My mom visits, but she's very unwell mentally. She's always been that way. I see. So it's your grandma and that family. They're the Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah? So you've been raised in that as a contrast to what your mom is. Wow, man. I'm glad you're doing okay, though. You seem really healthy, Edgar. You don't seem like you... I mean, I'm sure you know there's some struggles there, but you seem just like you got a good head on your shoulders. So I'm glad that in spite of that chaos, you came out of it. You came out of it healthy. Because you should never have to pay for that stuff, you know? Jacobo says, when you work with special needs children and you started to hate your day job, you remember that story, what were some practical steps you took to get where you're at now? Because I don't want to do my day job forever. Well, for me, I did kind of luck out in a way that's, I don't know if it's easily duplicatable, easy to duplicate. Basically, I was able to take time off because of COVID. Because when COVID first hit like 4 years ago, a lot of us, were not working. We were kind of on a leave of absence or whatever. The school was not quite shut down, but definitely like... sorry, I'm a little distracted. But definitely like I was able to leave and get government assistance basically because of COVID, because they were giving people money because, you know, a lot of people were not able to work. And even though technically I was not technically furloughed, because I had quit at around the same time, I still qualified for it. And for some reason, they said that I qualified for back pay for the COVID thing. So it ended up supporting me for a while. And because I wasn't working at the day job anymore, because I had already quit, and because I got this COVID assistance money from the government, I basically took all that money and I poured it directly into this business. I bought equipment and I just focused on drawing all day and learning how to do this digitally and trying to get as good as I could. In a matter of like 4 months, I locked myself in a room until I figured out how to do this. And yeah, and then I came out of it with job offers, essentially. But it's you know, that particular thing, I don't know that can be duplicated, the government assistance. But one thing I learned, and I wish I had done it differently, when I first started doing this job years and years before that, before COVID, when I was struggling, is building popularity and then trying to monetize that popularity before you quit the day job. Because this thing I'm doing now of doing the YouTube channel where people can see my art and starting the Patreon that I'm going to start this month, all that stuff, I should have done it years ago. I should have done it before, you know, before all this started. And I don't know that I would have had the same comfortable success that I've, you know, not that I'm so successful, but like enough that I can live off it. Like I'm, you know, doing better now, but a lot of that is because my art got a lot better because I was drawing so much that I just like improved, you know. So I'm sorry you don't like your day job, man. I mean, you don't want to do that forever because it'll kill your soul to have to go in every day to a job that you hate. It's so bad for you. Can I ask, what do you do, Jacobo? What's this job that's just driving you crazy? This mouth is not working for me. Maybe it's okay. That's true, Edgar. That's a good attitude, man. Also, don't forget, it's not your past, it's someone else's. Jacobo says, it's not driving me crazy yet. My job is that I work after school for a non-profit. Okay, that's pretty cool though. I'm trying to be a sub-para, but the processing system for that is backed up. Oh, I see. So yeah, so you're just kind of in a holding period, it sounds like. What do you want to be doing? Like, if you could be doing anything for a living right now, what would it be, Jacobo? Those eyes are looking wonky to me. I'm actually going to ditch this particular thing I'm doing here because I didn't do the sketch layer with the drawing assist, so doing the ink layer with it is just throwing me off. I'm gonna stop in 5 minutes or so, guys. Your job is school and your labor is unpaid. It's true. Comics and illustration, that's my gold standard for what I want to be doing. I hear you. What moves are you making right now, Jacobo, toward that career? I'm going to switch to more relaxing music. I'm going to sign off in a minute anyways, but Yeah, it is. I'm going for a late '80s, early '90s look for this character. This is what he looks like underneath the mask, and I'm basing it on the main character from Lost Boys, Michael from Lost Boys. That look for a leading man. But you know what, guys? I think I'm going to stop there because I want to end my night cuddled up with my girl. We're going to watch a movie or something. I don't know. But been a long weekend, so we want to relax before we start the Sunday Scaries. Or the Sunday Scaries is what we're in now. But last thing, I'm just going to read the chat. Paying off my student loans, making comics for my portfolio, fan art. I'm not sure I've been making the right moves. If I were, I'd be getting what I want out of life instead of being where I am now. How old are you, Jacobo? He does look like Johnny Depp, that's true. Hey, what's up, Frankenfinger? You caught me right at the end of the stream. But if you want to watch the whole stream and many other videos I have posted, please feel free. And hopefully I'll be on again tomorrow. You can catch me. I probably won't be on as late. But Jacobo, message me on Discord. I want to continue talking to you about this, okay? You're 25. You're young. I want to hear more about this, and I want to help a little bit. You know, I want to help pushing you toward some things that could help. I don't know how much my advice could help because the way I got here is a little awkward. It took me a long time. And at 38, I have enough that I can live off of, but I don't have like some great level of notoriety. But I can maybe help with your portfolio or something. Yeah, so message me on Discord. We'll continue this conversation. All right, brother? All right. Good night, y'all.